Might be tired of me by now, but Windy City Thetan Watch, back here in Chicago. Earlier we had a little bit of a tour, and we were able to, by the way, I'm on YouTube Native now. Please like, subscribe, all those fun things. Please add a comment. Again, it just boosts the awareness. We want to spread it, get out to as many people as possible. Show them what the dangers of this cult are here in Chicago. I'm going to turn the camera around. About an hour ago, we were out and kind of on a wild goose chase. But at least I got my steps in. I will tell you that the body router was able to hand off nothing, but I'm pretty sure that was his intention. It was really to get me out of the zone or clear the zone. But we're back. And let's see if we can, again, thwart some folks down here. This morning I had breakfast over at the Hilton, and they had the graduation for East-West University in there. So to me, it's always a thrill to see people, right, increase their education. Education is something that nobody can take away from you. I don't ever think it's a bad idea to try and gain in intelligence. Hey, J-Bet. I wanted to get a flyer. I haven't gotten a flyer yet today. I wanted to come back down, make sure I can get myself a flyer. So I'm going to walk down Dearborn. As I said, I got my exercise in. I'm sure that I was on a wild goose chase. That is one of the downsides of retail recruiting. I will say that I've always encouraged as many of you as can, please come out here. You'll find it exceedingly easy to disrupt them from what they're doing. And you'll notice that, yeah, I got a lot of steps in, but just walking, I'm able to keep up with whatever I need to. So you don't have to be some kind of uber athlete. I do think it's smarter to come and play if you've got a friend. Come with a friend. Always make sure you've got a camera on, which reminded me, I've got my body cam on, but I didn't start recording, so now we're recording. In the last couple of days, I've created a new little Scientology flyer, so this redirects to Windy City Thetan, WindyCityThetanWatch.com and the crimes of Scientology. And then ask them about Zeno, and this is kind of inspired by Tori. One thing we were able to do today is we found another housing location, staff. I want to kind of go check on it and make sure that's not just an individual staying there, but find out if it's just an individual or if it's actually, again, a group of 6 to 9 Scientologists staying in the same unit. It's nice shady. It's nice and shady here on Dearborn. The sun is incredibly warm. In between these last two streams, I've been charging the phone, so I'm up to about 80%. And we'll see how much we can actually get out of that part of the battery. Got myself a couple of gallons of water. Hey, Swedish Lena. The other day, and I think that Perth, Australia runs an additional channel, and I couldn't figure out what was going on there, but it was 4 people on a panel all talking with an Australian accent. So I didn't care what they were talking about, I just liked listening to the accent. We're heading over to the org. I'm pretty sure unless he also took, he might have taken a bus back. I did walk back just so that I could get the batteries charged and grab some water. We might see the guy in the red shirt come back. Just looked down the opposite side of the street from Scientology, didn't see anything, so now we're on to the Scientology side of Clark Street. I saw Friesina, who kind of took a break maybe 20 minutes ago. Not sure where he's off to, but I might be able to join up with him again. These guys have asked me a couple of times why I come out here and protest Scientology. I think it sticks with them. But again, I don't begrudge them for welcoming Scientology as patrons into their organization. They're here to make profit. That's absolutely fine. Now, if they're letting Scientology proselytize in their space, then yeah, I will definitely make it a little bit more harder on them. Passing by the pizza place. Not very busy here today. Yep. Well, let's bring the blinds down. Yeah, come on. Bring the blinds down. That might be a record, right? I might have gotten a false start here, but no, I don't think there's anybody else out here right now. I was expecting a few more, but again, life happens, and I want people to be able to spend time with their family. It's Father's Day. That's absolutely reasonable. Ooh, is that Cyrillic or Russian on there? Notice how the cult has to hide? Neighbor just came by. By the way, you may have seen this a couple of days ago. I was over. Did you wish your father a happy Father's Day today? No. So, you know what? I can't tap to answer the questions, but Swedish Lena had said, hey, did they watch my stream? These people can't watch my stream. I don't think that Scientology would let a typical staff member in here watch the stream. I think I just got lucky. He was walking from the front door across the windows, and it just so happened I walked up as he was walking past there. So, but that has to be a new record. Just for fun, I did not see anybody on Dearborn. Didn't really see anybody on State Street. When I started the video on Dearborn. No, I didn't. I was over on State, but I came down to Harrison. Didn't go that far down that street. In the prior video, they had a Scientologist walk out with flyers, and they basically just walked me around Chicago, which is awesome, because for those of you that don't know, I have a second channel called Windy Wanders the City. So that whole time that he's got me wandering around the city, I'm making money. Sorry, I'm trying to zone in on this. This is very close to the Way of Happiness, or Way to Happiness. That was the same colors as the Way to Happiness. But that person, right, we wandered probably 2.5 miles. Went up to Navy Pier, got into Streeterville. I then kind of let him go. Now, he may still try to pass out flyers up there. How you doing over and out? He may try to pass out flyers up there, but that's not a high percentage of people that are going to leave Streeterville, walk 2 miles down here to Printers Row. Up, here he is, he's back. So this is the Scientologist that was out, had me on the goose chase. But there's nobody else back here. Over and out, I have new toys. So the front of this is inspired by Tori Magoo, and it points people to to Xenu.net. And then on the back, you've got some of the crimes of Scientology with some proper nouns. And I put that on there just because it's easy to look that up. If you look for Lisa McPherson, you're going to see some crimes of Scientology. And then that barcode is going to send you to several blog posts about some of the crimes of Scientology. Right? We've got Miriam Francis, Serge Del Mar, the Chase fraud. Additionally, if they hunt around, there's other blogs on the site or other blog posts on that site that are about Joe Cicala. Joe Cicala is a benefactor of the church here. He donates a lot of money, and his business employs a lot of the people who work on staff here. Now, I'm intrigued that, you saw the guy in the red shirt. Hello, L. Ron Hubco. Love what you guys are doing out there. I love that you guys are able to interact with the public. I think that's really important. The publics, the people who are taking Scientology training, they seem to be able to talk. You guys were able to get them to talk definitely more than we are here in Chicago. Howdy, Lay Jane. So this morning, we were here, and all of the staff has showed up today in civilian clothes. There's only like 3 uniformed staff members today. Everybody else is in their civilian clothing. Now, I didn't see a lot of the people that we would normally see on a weekend, but I still think that there was a fundraiser or something up in Battle Creek, and there were probably people up there doing fundraising tables and things of that nature. So now, granted, I had family stuff to do yesterday. I wasn't going to be able to make it to Battle Creek, but I think it would have been a challenge to actually find where they were doing those fundraising elements at. So there was a mailing list that I could have put my name on. I'm just not going to put any information on a Scientology site in that space. I would also caution you not to do that. I would also caution you to go to incognito mode whenever you're visiting anything related to Scientology, because they are going to be tracking IPs and things of that nature. They probably spend a great deal of money on data banks that would help identify people. So folks, if you're just joining in, a couple of things. A, I have new propaganda myself. And this is mostly because I try to interrupt the body routing that occurs here. The other one is that I normally go through StreamYard so I can click and bring your comments up on screen. And I apologize, I'm just going live right now through YouTube. That lets me play with the camera a little bit more. So I can do things like this. And pinch zoom in and pinch zoom out. This in the middle. Sorry, I was just looking. I heard voices behind me. In the middle stream today, we had a Scientologist take me on a little bit of a wild goose chase, but we saw a lot of the city. Got a view of the river, got a view of Lake Michigan. Saw some boats, saw Navy Pier, the Ferris wheel, all kinds of stuff over there. I'm gonna head over to Dearborn and State just to see if we can find the other body routers. They're gonna be a little bit harder for me to find today because they're in civilian clothes. The young male that I see the most often, he was wearing nondescript white clothing. You know, I could not tell you what he was wearing right now, other than it was, like I said, white clothing, so it doesn't stand out like the uniform does. At the opening of the afternoon video, the reason I started early was because while I was at the Hilton, a Scientologist walked by. So she was uniformed. It would have been their lunch hour. I'm going to hypothesize that she headed back home to her, to where she lives to take lunch at home, right? And then later in that video, we saw her walking back to the org near the top of the hour. So they typically leave from 12 to 1 when they're here. At the top of this, well, not at the top of this video, but moments ago, we were able to get the blinds pulled, and it was freakishly fast. So it just so happened that the guy was at the front window when I approached, and I waved him forward and motioned to him that, hey, you got to take the blinds down. And while I know they're not listening to my directive to take the blinds down, it's fun, makes me feel good. Trying to kind of scan the street real quick. Not seeing anybody here on Dearborn Street. If you haven't seen the video before, the bottom of Dearborn Street is the old Dearborn Station. That used to be a train station, but it's defunct now, and now it's a retail space. Howdy, Rachel. Nice to have met you over on Eric's stream. Folks, as Eric said, the people that have boots on the ground, let's make sure that we're supporting them, right? And we all have different styles. That's excellent. Scientology has to be met on 1,000 different levels, and the way that I protest might not be the way that's going to meet some of these people and help them understand they should be leaving. Just like the loud and vocal elements of a selfless or a Pearl Snappy might not be the thing that a person needs, but we have to try all the things, right? Earlier today on Free Z News channel, he was doing some chalk tech. The sergeant came by. Oh, you know what? I should have looked to see if that chalk was still there. But the sergeant came by and told him, hey, either you're going to have to wipe that off or I'm going to wipe it off. I went to go talk to the sergeant, asked for his name and badge number, and he said, why? Just to be cute. I knew it was Sergeant Dolan. He is somebody who has refused to identify several times to me. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking down here. There's not much traffic density here. I'm going to keep on pushing out towards Michigan Avenue. See if we can find anybody body routing. We've got a bit of a breeze going right now, which is nice. We're 95 plus here in Chicago. It's going to be a tough couple of days. We're going to be near 100. And in Chicago, there are plenty of elderly people that don't have the funds to be having to run air conditioning. So, you know, these are usually periods where we can expect some bad situations arising out of this heat. In Chicago, one of the things they do to try to mitigate that is they'll take the buses, most of the buses here in Chicago are air conditioned, and they'll just park the buses at street corners and allow people to come in and sit down for a while, you know, compose themselves. So now we're at Wabash Street. If you're new to the channel, a couple of things. I love the murals, and you're going to see a lot of the artwork in the city, so we've got that. The other one is the elevated tracks, while you're in the loop, they come straight down Wabash, over the top of Wabash, but right here, they move from being on the street to the alley. So they adjust and pivot just a little bit west and follow the alleys down to like 31st Street before it gets back onto the streets. There is another channel, and on the other channel we do a lot more just tours. Let me see if I can read the comments here. Yeah, folks, definitely if you have a chance to, and I don't have a link, but if one of the mods can drop Scientology Up North and L. Ron Hubcult in there, that'd be great. It's, again, another fun foreign accent to listen to, which I'm thinking that they're listening to me right now saying, what a stupid American accent that guy has. So we're pushing out to Michigan Avenue. We really are guessing, right? We're throwing darts at a dartboard, hoping that we can find some of the body routers. The young male with the tight curly hair, which I think that we're calling him Curly. We might be calling him Larry. I can never remember. I know the names of a lot of these org members, but I still need help with some of the rest of the org members. This morning, I was able to take a picture with camera, with a better camera of most of the people as they arrived today. So I should be able to create another blog post and see if we can get some names for some of these people. Oops. Lady Jane, you can get kicked out of my channel if you call it Willis Tower. I'm joking, but we've got the JW folks out here. JW is much more passive in the way that they recruit. So if we look back here, right, they're just going to stand there, and if people come up and pick up a flyer, they'll talk to them, but they won't, they don't really proselytize, and they're not giving off a sales patter or anything of that nature. So this is Chicago's front lawn, Grant Park. The dormitory next to Scientology on Clark Street is Columbia College's, one of Columbia College's dormitory. This is one of the art schools of Columbia. Definitely not seeing anybody down here. In the middle show, we were able to go down the alley and there were people smoking. We were able to push them back into the org. And when I say push, I'm saying it's basically a euphemism or a visualization of the idea. It is funny that I can really get the Scientologists to disperse very easily. I think that many of the other protesters are getting better at it. And by the way, they're not bad at it. That Scientology definitely tries to intimidate the female protesters, right? Sorry, I was walking along and I got a plastic bag stuck on my foot. So Scientology will try to intimidate the female protesters, and that's, I don't mean to in any way to throw shade or say that, hey, the females can't handle themselves. They do a phenomenal job. It's just that early on, Scientology knew that I wasn't going to listen to any of their BS, and they've really never tried to deceive me or lie to me. Since the early days. They won't talk to me. Some other ones I have been able to have conversations with. We did have a conversation with the woman that had the back pain. This is Balboa, 8th Street. I'm going to go ahead and turn down here. The cool kids over here in their pickup truck spinning the tires. Not sure if you can hear the noise behind me. Usually this microphone isolates that pretty well so you guys don't have to hear it. Now we're walking back towards the org. Really haven't seen anything. If I walk away from the org, they'll go ahead and pull the shades down. Remember, keep in mind, I do not believe that anybody except for the DSA here in Chicago is allowed to watch my stream, right? There's too much information on it that a Scientologist shouldn't hear in order to keep them in line, right? So I don't think that they watch it, but if OSA watches it from California, or if the DSA or OSA members here are watching it, they might phone to the org and say, hey, it's safe, you can pull the blinds back up and all of that as we walk through there. Hopefully that I hope the wind on the mic is not being disruptive. Go ahead and get across here real quick. I think that Free Xenu project might be coming off of lunch, so I'm going to head back to the org, chat with him for a bit. It's really, really warm out here. Oh, the other one, I walked through the State Street Festival. There were no Scientology tables there. So we didn't know that going north, when we were following the body rotter before. But on the way back, since I had to walk through there, I decided to kind of walk down the middle of the street and make sure that there wasn't a Scientology table, or if there was a Scientology table, that it would have been a jackpot for me, because I would have been able to prevent them from being able to talk to any of the green recruits. It has been a couple of days since I've actually been able to take paraphernalia off of any of the victims of Scientology. And there's a couple of things. But today we saw a change in tactic, which they had the one body router leave with some flyers and just wander away and just go on a wild goose chase so that others could have stayed near the org. The other thing that we saw on Friday was they carry a clipboard now instead of the flyers, and I'm guessing, all of this is a guess, that what they're trying to do is engage people and just get their name or an email address so that they can then contact them and schedule a time for them to come in so that they don't have to walk past the protesters. It has to be incredibly insulting. So some of the times that I really like it the most is I've taken flyers from the people that are right out in front of the org, and that has to be on OSA's cameras because they've got those two massive cameras out front that have a great view of the street. And when I'm able to take a flyer right in front of the org, I'm sure that OSA is just seething about that when they get to watch that on the video. There have been indications they are trying to create a short story of me stalking. There have been several women that have, cam-backed me, and they've actually invaded my space rather than me invading their space. So they're showing the crime that they're trying to accuse me of as they come forward. And I like on it that I'm saying quite loudly so that it's picked up on their camera, please don't approach me, I will defend myself. And why are you walking towards me? Why are you walking towards me? So that it just becomes a useless piece of media for them to try to tell the police whatever their short story might be as they walk towards me. Now, this has been a real tough day for me because everybody did come in civvies. I could not tell who it was or wasn't a Scientologist early this morning. So a lot of the people got in the store or in the front door without me being able to protest or say anything to them. So we just passed Dearborn. We are at the south end of the street that Scientology is on. So Scientology is on Clark Street between Harrison, which is 600, and Polk, which is 800. The address for Scientology here in Chicago is 650 South Clark Street. Sorry, I'm kind of reading through. That shirt that we just saw was the Printers Row Wine Shop. It's a really neat place. They do a lot of wine tastings in there. They actually, recently, I think they actually have a bar in there basically. So you can, buy wine to go, or you can buy wine and stay there. Now we're back on Clark. We'll head up the street. Remind me when we get to the org that we've got to look for the chalk that Prezinu put out earlier today. Hello, Erica. I'm recording on native today, so I won't be able to pin comments or mark comments. When I get up to the org, I'm gonna see if I can text Prezinu project. Just want to let him know that I'm back at the org. Somebody's going to come out to some bad news with the traffic ticket there, or parking ticket, sorry. We're walking past Paisans. Shades are still down, so if you're newer to the channel, and I've seen some new names in here, one of the things that I think is important is that I'm able to shut down the retail element of the space. So as a cult, why are they hiding from the public with all of this beautiful retail space here? The front door's locked. And yeah, so somebody has come out and erased. This is where Free Xenu Project did some chalk work earlier today, and on it was the story of the 7-year-old who should be okay with a sexual kiss. Howdy, Lady E. I'm going to spend some time just out in front here. So we are at Scientology Chicago. A lot of times I'll go up in the air just because if they're the college students or just a civilian coming by, they don't want to live their life on camera, so I try to give them a little bit of relief from that. Oh, this is interesting today. This is kind of rare that those windows are open. So what I will do is I'll go across the street to see if we can see any heads bopping around up there. That looks to be principally an administrative room. Yeah, I'm gonna walk across the street real quick. In the past, I've been able to get them to close those windows from over here. But yeah, I can see a human. So in that corner, and you can see somebody walking through, but there's somebody with their headphones on looking at a screen on the computer. You see how much I can stretch out there. Can you see him just above the S in Scientology? And there's another woman. These two are in uniform today, by the way. Another woman walking behind him, but she's behind that arched window with the shade. Just had a Scientologist go in their uniform. Let's head back over there. Earlier today, we saw one of the staff members watering this, and as she watered it, I gave her the clear cognition, as well as the OT3 story. Not sure how much she was listening to it. Again, I don't think it's very common to have staff that are actually trying to get up and down the bridge. They kind of are here to serve and help others move up the bridge. It's an expensive endeavor. Now they can do the twinning process where they'll audit themselves back and forth. Sorry, I was trying to read back through the comments. Yeah, oops, darn it, I just tried to tap that, and I forget that I can't tap here. Correct. Very few of them probably know about Xenu, but there is that idea that says, are they going to ask one of their friends who they know is an OT3 about the Xenu story? And what Aaron has said about that, and many of the other ex-Scientologists, is that OT3 has to lie to them. And so they're going to say, no, that guy's just batshit crazy out there, right? Don't worry about what he's saying. You want to know about what they are? Do you know who they are? Yeah. Huh? So when they try to lure people in there, I try to help them understand that it's just a money-grabbing cult. So if you ever want to look up information about this cult, right there. Yep. So, and again, I worry they're very idealistic. They target people. So I was able to just give them the flyer. A lot of police activity going down the street here. Not sure what that is, but that's 5 squad cars and a paddy wagon heading down the street. Guy behind me keeps on chirping his car. Yeah, Elron, 100%. Sorry, I was talking about that. That there was, I think that it's an Elron quote that the way to really control people is to lie to them. And because they are secret OT levels, you're never allowed, or confidential OT levels, you're never allowed to tell anybody about those. So they do have to lie to the other staff members. So until the other staff members actually take OT3, they think I'm, again, bat crap crazy. And you then have some of them that might take OT3, and I hope that it causes them to question, why did you lie to me when I asked you about this before in Scientology? And oh my gosh, the guy on the street was right. When I lift the camera, I'm just giving relief to the neighbors as they walk by.
What's up?
Howdy. Yeah, I was gonna say there was dirt or sand that just came through on that one. Now, something else we know that they have been using Eventbrite to organize events in the area. Howdy. They used Eventbrite to alert people to Juneteenth. So they did have a Juneteenth celebration yesterday. And again, that is just an odd behavior that, with how racist L. Ron Hubbard was, that there are people of color that come in here. Yeah, I still think it is important, right, that we do tell them the Xenu story. Another tactic that I use there is if they're talking to a victim on the street, and by the way, when I use victim, it's probably not fair that I say that, but a green recruit, so somebody that they're trying to target in this space. I will tell the Xeno story and I'll say, hey, ask them about Xeno, and they can't tell you. But in reality, they believe in this mythical overlord from galaxies far, far away, and they rounded up all these bad people, brought them to Earth, put them in volcanoes, right? Put them in volcanoes, used hydrogen bombs. They brought them here in DC-8s or DC-10s, right? Which again, if you're in the 50s trying to think about the most modern aircraft possible, that is the aircraft you're going to pick. Oh, I love the volcano emoji. Let's take a, you know what? I keep on hearing the door move here, but I'm not seeing any visualization. So what they've done here is they've created the fog. So they put the foggy sticker on here so that you can't see through. These were clear windows when they were first created, but you can see that they've done a very lackluster job of putting stickers on there. Lady Jane, he was a sci-fi writer. If you mean great by volume, fine. If you mean great by quality, no. But yeah, so the idea that you've got a cult that started by a fantasy, a sci-fi writer, it can't be a place that you feel comfortable starting from. And then we've got the often told quote of, you can't get rich writing for a penny a word. In order to get rich, you need to start a religion. And lo and behold, he started a religion. We're going to walk over to the back, and I just want to see if they're putting any body around. They will try to do that. If I'm at the front door, they'll send somebody out the back door. But also, if anybody's out there smoking, I get to walk in and they have to cut their smoke break short. Because they can't be on camera, right? Seeing a lot of Cubs paraphernalia over here. Just taking a good look at some people behind me to make sure that they're not Scientology in civilian clothing. Ooh, the wind came down, so I can see the building behind Scientology is new construction. You know what, for some of the people that are new here, let's go ahead and take a tour of the alley. You can only get in and out of this alley from the street that I just walked off of, or the street that you see far ahead of me at the other end. If you're a tenant of any of these buildings, you can walk through the building to get here, but there is no publicly accessible walkway to get from the street on either side to this alley. The building right behind it is new construction, and the wind, by the way, you don't even need a lot of wind here in Chicago. The buildings will reroute the wind and magnify it quite a bit, so I don't think that this was a direct wind. This is probably wind that came down one of the alleys and just really pushed this fence over. But this is the new building that is directly behind Scientology. Hi, Dan. On opening day, none of these floors were weathered in. So in the last 3 months, they've gotten that far. I don't think that you'll be able to walk through that property to the alley, but we'll have to wait and see how they actually finalize the whole building. Here's the back of Scientology. So here we're seeing a roll-up door, right? This door has never been opened in my experience. This door is one that they'll sneak out and they'll smoke, but they'll put a little door wedge in there so that they can sneak back in. And then this door you can see from the front door, and this one they'll never wedge this open because you can see it from the front desk and they're not supposed to be leaving these doors open. But if I come back here and they've got to go back in through this door, I get to talk to them until somebody comes and unlocks the door for them, because this door is locked all the time. Again, you're seeing that it's the wind is blowing this down. Here's the garbage cans that we were able to retrieve. Trashy was able to retrieve a lot of information and documents. About 10 days after they finally went on Aaron's show, Scientology finally employed these locks on here. They also have a shredder, so more often than not, I'm seeing shredded documents in here. I'm going to lift this up a little bit. I don't know if you'll be able to see in there, but that box is the Student Head Course Set Box English 2013 Quantity 1. And it's Bridge Publications, Inc. Again, I don't think you'll be able to see that in there, but you can see that they still are using old books, right? 2013, 11 years ago. And that's the Student Hat Course, right? So again, entry-level Scientology gets you prepared to take some of the more meaningful confidential levels. It's been a tough day today. Today I have not been able to find any body routers in action. Now we did follow a body router quite a ways today. Papa, the police did show up here today. What I don't know, so the chalk is gone. What I don't know is if Scientology cleaned it off or if the cops cleaned it off. But here we see Free Xenu Project in his nice SPTV shirt. Not much. So your chalk's gone. Was it gone before you left?
It was gone after I left eating.
Okay. So, yeah, I was to say that when I got back to the org, that was gone. I don't know who did it. I don't know if it was the police or if it was Scientology.
I thought it was funny that they just wanted to converse with me across the street on a PA system.
That I didn't know happened.
Yeah. That's how he talked to me. He wouldn't talk to me, talk to me.
Nice.
And I was like, you want to come over here? And he goes, no. Like, what?
And then when I went over there, right?
Was it Dolan?
Yeah, it was Dolan. So, and on the earlier stream, you've got it's 1179, I think, something like that. But I've got his badge number as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Free Xenu had a little bit of a police interaction earlier today.
I got talked at from across the street.
Yes. That cop's kind of funny to me and stupid funny. He won't identify to me, so that's the second time he's refused to identify to me. He finally did because he knew that I knew his name, and I have filed complaints on him before. I don't think they go anywhere, but I still want to load up his jacket as much as possible.
Oh, yeah.
On that process. So, you want to head back up front?
Yeah, sure.
There was some students came over to me and said, "Hey, what do you do here?" So I was able to hand them one of my cards. When I was talking to the officer, he told me, "Hey, you should go back off the street. You should get off the street where it's safe." And I said, "Is that what you told the last guy that was just here for 5 minutes?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." So again, we know that the police can lie to you. The Supreme Court allows them to lie to us. And they do lie to us, right? It's their goal to get us to snitch on ourselves. To get us to snitch on ourselves, right? That's the reason they want to keep you talking. The blinds were up when I came back, so I was able to get those back down again. It might be the fastest ever because the young kid was just happened to be at the front window when I walked up.
Yeah, they were already down when I came by.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I'd gotten them down earlier, so
Oh, you were here before?
yeah, I was here at like 8:30 or so. Was so the guy that dropped off the donuts earlier today, was he speaking Spanish?
Spanish or... I actually didn't sound like Spanish.
Okay. Gotcha.
but I could be wrong. Rebound.
Nice job. She got the rebound. So, self-assist.
Somebody came by.
Don't go in for a tour.
What's it called?
Was there any other activity?
Not a lot. Just people in and out, and somebody came out and watered the plants.
Yeah,
She wouldn't talk though.
right. She was here when we were both here, right? The older lady. Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't a lot, but there was a few.
Cool.
Trying this
Oh,
out, but
nice.
it's not serious.
Yeah. You know what we have to do is bring like a sandbag or something like that to. Yeah. Because now with this heavy wind, yeah.
The Windy City, but I know that's not right.
Yeah. Dan, just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up, right? So we've got the org's right here, right? And right next door is Columbia College. Now this is a dormitory. So this is one of the student housing buildings for Columbia College. And all of the brick that you see to that side, so on the lowest level, it's retail. But this unit all the way up, and all the brick unit next to it, that's all college dormitory. It's called the Dwight Lofts.
Nothing better than warm water.
Yeah. So this is one of the colleges that's nearby. If we were, I'll walk up to the street again, and I'll just show you how many other colleges are within just a few blocks of this location. And what's scarier about that student housing building that we just saw, that's right next door to Scientology, is that starting this semester and going forward, it will be a freshman-only residence. So there's no continuity of a class member from last year being here. Oh, here's the body router. She'll probably go in the back now that she sees me, but she's wearing Cubs blue, right? So let's see what they were routing today. Can you tell me anything positive about your church? Is there anything positive about your cult? Tell me about your cult. Please don't approach me. Please don't approach me. So trillions of years ago, Xenu rounded up all of the bad Thetans, put them on a spaceship, brought them to the Earth, put them in volcanoes, blew them up with hydrogen bombs, and that's the religion you believe in. The science fiction fantasy of L. Ron Hubbard. The best way to control people is to lie to them. So today it was Youth for Human Rights. And if you go to Youth for Human Rights, you'll see that all it is it's an anti-psychology site and an anti-mental drug site. So because of where they came from today, I'm going to guess that they were in that mess. There was an event on State Street. It's called Sunday on State. They close off the streets to cars, and for 4 blocks, it's just a street festival. Booths with people that have clothing for sale, perfumes, candles. You know, it's like real life Etsy on that street. Well, what they'll do is they'll take that opportunity to go inside and they'll hand out flyers. So they were handing out flyers the whole time today. I just wasn't able to find them. More often than not, one of the things I do is I come here to catch them leaving here, and if I catch them leaving here, I can follow them. So she's trying to create the police narrative that I'm a bad actor and that I'm following her. And I know that people are going to say, you are following her. I'm following the flyers, and I've never approached them. So I don't care to talk to them. I care to talk to the people that they try to victimize, right? I try to talk to the green recruits that they're going to try to bring into their organization. And today, to show you how nefarious they are, today they were wearing Youth for Human Rights. If you go to Youth for Human Rights, you will find that there's no relationship to Scientology on that site. So they're embarrassed that they're Scientology, but it is a front group for Scientology. And if you ever look at their flyers, I might have a flyer, no, I've got my other backpack on today. The flyer for human rights actually goes to an address that's a post office in Hollywood. And then if you look at the legal terms, it tells you about 6331 Fountain, I think, and 6331 is the L. Ron Hubbard Center. Oh. So the human rights headquarters is in L. Ron Hubbard Center. But she's trying to basically create a narrative that she'll try to call the police. She's called the police over several times, and the police have told them, go away, we don't care, right? I'm not doing anything wrong. They have a First Amendment right to pass out this propaganda. I have a First Amendment right to educate people as to what they received. You'll notice in all of my videos. So the reason that the college, you'll see in all of my videos that I stand back quite a bit from these people. I give them their space. I really only close ranks when they've handed a flyer off. So what happened is, the reason that a lot of these colleges have these buildings here is that during 2007, 2008, when we had the financial crisis and everybody was upside down on loans, universities were sitting on tons of cash. So they bought up a lot of these buildings at that point in time, and this just turned them into the student housing or the college classrooms themselves. So there's no classrooms here, but we would have walked past the college on Michigan Avenue today, and that is where the arts and fashion classrooms for Columbia College are. Sorry, I'm just trying to bring this off of the people, the students that are gaggling here. What else? Oh, I wanted to show you some of the other, I'm going to go down and show them the other universities that you can see from here. All right, sounds good. Sorry, she distracted me when they were coming by. And by the way, I knew she was going to cam back me. When I opened up this stream, I kind of was reciting some of the stories that they'll do in that space. And folks, again, I don't care at all. You know, I'll try to give them little tidbits of, you heard me give them clear cog and you heard me give them OT3. I'll tell them those things, but these people are not the wealthy people who are going up the bridge. These are the people that they're making a wage or attempting to make a wage here at Scientology, right? Staff members. So this is Harrison Street. This is 600 South. Again, Chicago's on a grid. If you look straight forward, this street T intersects at State Street, and that's another university housing. So all of that is university housing. So, yeah. Nice. You know, I have. YouTube or? It's YouTube. Oh, nice. So I'm anti-Scientology, and this is the information that will help you get understand. Yeah. What's the name? Windy City Thetan Watch. Windy sorry. City. So, if you want to just take a picture of that, or okay. Windy City Thetan. You want? You can have it. If you want the card, take it. Thanks. So the building down there is all college housing. and you have to be either at DePaul or Roosevelt or Columbia College to be in there. Right behind it is another Columbia school building. Right behind that is John Marshall Law, which is now Columbia's law school. DePaul is 2 blocks north of that. East-West University is 2 blocks south of that. So this is a target-rich environment for them to try to recruit young people into the cult. Hopefully that was helpful. Folks, now my gimbal's gonna crash on me pretty soon. So I think that we're probably gonna have to call it a day pretty quickly. Really appreciate everybody being here. Let me go ahead and read that last comment. Oh, sorry. I'm unaware if the church does, they could try to get grants. The government will, if you're doing something for the good of the community, you can sometimes apply for grants. But Scientology makes most of its money off of donations. So the wealthy benefactors just donate gobsmacking amounts of money, right? You've got Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Homer, the voice of Bart on The Simpsons. She's tens of millions of dollars in. Tom Cruise. Who else do we see in their life? There's just an awful lot of wealthy donors. So donors is one of the biggest ways. That's just free money. Then you've got the books and the tapes. Those are things that you're going to buy from them, and that's going through Bridge Communications. And then the courses. So they'll give you courses and the auditing. So the auditing is what costs you money on that course level.
You forgot one important aspect, and that's the accidentally hearing the word Xenu outside of your org when you're going in and out of it. And then you got to get sec checked.
Yes.
Pay for all that.
That's another one that I think is very funny, is that you do something wrong and you get called to the principal's office, but you have to pay to go to the principal's office. And folks, I'm still want to remind everybody, I'm a never in, right? I just always thought that this was a stupid religion. I didn't know all of the crimes that it had perpetrated. And within the last 2 years, you see Aaron's the biggest one out there, but Aaron, Natalie, Reese, Liz, Oh No Nora, Serge, all of Tori from 20 years ago in this, right? Laura FM out there, that you hear the abuses that they had to withstand, and it's like, you know what? I can stand up against that. I don't think it's that hard for me to go out to the org and protest the ability for people to come in and endure that same kind of suffering, right? The financial fraud is ridiculous here. It's just a money scheme. You buy something, it's a common sense element, you feel better about what you did, then you buy the next thing, right? And it just keeps on escalating to that until you start getting into the fantasy world. Like, I'm always surprised that people get past OT3, right? And that idea that, wait, what happened? How are these people, huh? No way. So.
Yeah, it's a lot to swallow.
Yep.
It's done in such a slow, gradual manner, and with so much history of, I better not say it wrong.
Yeah, John Travolta's another one. Thank you, Lady Jane. I really appreciate that. Have a great day. So something that's really sinister about the org, sorry, I want to get closer to Free Xenu as well. They'll do a fundraiser. So as I mentioned, there's probably a fundraiser going on in Battle Creek to continue raising money for that ideal org. They're going to get a lot of wealthy people there, and they're going to donate money. And right after they're done donating money, it's the ISA, the International Scientology Association, and the they're going to hit them up again for donations saying, hey, if you donated for the Ideal Org, you should donate to Scientology in general as well. And that's the huge war chest. That ISA is really the big war chest that Scientology has. And I don't know where that money sits or if it's, which country they park that money in. But that's the really sinister element, right? You've just been you've just been conned into donating to this building, and people are donating hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time, and then you walk out of there and they now know that you're rich, and they're going to try to exploit you again and say, well, now donate to me.
Well, they don't even use it either. They have to raise all the money that they use on this org, the bills, the rent, the internet, television, whatever they got in there, the phone lines if they got.
Yep.
They have to pay for all that out of their pocket, but all the money that they was donated for this org is going to pay the standards to use it for his war chest.
Right. Yeah. So what Freeze Unit was just explaining, right, is that all the money, in order to buy this org, they had to raise the money themselves. So the money was raised here in Chicago. That's excellent. Father's Day is meant for hanging with your fathers. How you doing, Chris? So all of the money that was needed for this org to be purchased as well as renovated, and it's hundreds of millions of dollars, had to be donated and raised locally, right? Then, when they did buy it, they have to sign this building over to Scientology, and then Scientology charges them rent for it, which is just incredible to me that you would give away an asset like this to the centralized organization and then continue to pay rent to them in that space. So it's just ludicrous to think about the educated people. I mean, there are people in here that are exceedingly wealthy, and they've started businesses. ABC Mouse is one of them. You've got the Dream Exchange. You've got these lawyers that are making money hand over fist in high-profile cases. And they've got to be smarter than to say, let me go buy a building and then give it to somebody else and then pay rent to occupy that building. And I still love the idea that hundreds of millions of dollars to purchase this building and to renovate this building, and their retail space is closed up, right? So we've got them all locked up. All right, folks, I really have to go now. So you will not see me again today. But I really appreciate everybody being here. Happy Father's Day. Really appreciate everybody joining in. It was a great conversation. All the streams were lively. Really enjoyed that today. It was fun watching everybody. So if we can find another live stream, Free Xenu is right next to me. If you want to jump over to Free Xenu project, that would be great. Or, yep, and brain fog as well. So we'll get San Francisco. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. I will see you soon.